Hi, this is Cheryl Smith, and today I'm going to show you how to make a template for Stampin' in the round using your Stamparatus. This card is featured on page 89 in the 2019-2020 Catalog and Idea Book. The stamp set is Above the Clouds. You can get it in a bundle. Comes with this punch. And these are samples of some really cute cards that you can make. We're taking this card that has the words stamped around it, and we're going to change it up a little bit by changing the color, and also we're moving the circle of the words to the center. That makes it a little bit easier to create the template. If you notice, this one is closer to the edge of the card, and that one is a little bit easier to do freehand because making a template that's slightly off center is much more difficult. So let's start with this easy one first. You're going to need a piece of paper, and I am using this grid paper that is specially designed for the Stamparatus. You could use a plain piece of typing paper. You could use a piece of grid paper that's this large Stampin' Up version and cut it down. Remember that the Stamparatus is about 7 1/4 inches, and if you want to make it easier on yourself, just make your paper 7 inches. I'm using the millimeter side, and it's 1 to 18 inches, so I just use the half line of 9 across both ways. Once you have your halfway point, then you have to decide what size you want your squares to be, and that depends on the images that you're using and the size of your card. The first one I'm going to show you is a 3-inch, and for the 3-inch, we're going to need to find the halfway point. So we'll measure it using another piece of paper. Grab my pencil. So 1.5 inches. And I already marked the rest of them, so you don't have to watch me measure. We'll set this one aside. Then we're going to line that up on all of the points. So 1, 2, 3. Oop, put that one up just a little bit. There we go. It's harder than you think to get all of those to line up. Now, if you're just going to make this for one size, trace it out with anything. But I'm going to make this template for 2 different sizes, and you could make it for several different if you have our watercolor pencils in different colors. And you just trace around it. We're going to make the 3-inch square template blue. Uh-oh. Get that back in there. That won't happen when you do this, of course. Certain it'll be perfect. And then one last line. There we go. Then we're going to do the diamond and line up the diamond points on all of the grid lines. There we go. Now trace those out. Again, using your blue watercolor pencil. And then real quick, I'm going to write down here that blue is 3-inch, so I don't have to measure again. Now I also made marks at the 2-inch points on all 4 sides. So we're just going to line that up on the diamond first. There we go. All right, now we're going to make the 4-inch template red. So just very carefully put that around. You don't have to press super hard. So there's the diamond. Now we'll line up our little tick marks at the halfway point on each side. And we'll line those out all the way around. And in case you're wondering, I used Daffodil Delight and Old Olive, if you like those colors. I'm gonna write red 4 inches again, so I don't have to measure in the future. There we go. So that's your template. Now I'm going to show you how to use it. I pull in my Stamparatus. This one is a different template. The size that I'm using for this is 4 1/8. So I cut that cardstock at 4 1/8, and you can see it fits right in the template. There we go. I have different choices. This is for my class on Thursday. So I've got a thanks and a hi friend, and I also have another plate, and I have these words. These are from the Itty Bitty Greetings, I miss you and happy day. Make sure when you line these up, these grid lines, and I don't know if you can see them very well in the video, they will help you get your stamp lined up fairly straight. The bonus about using photopolymer is you can curve it a little bit. So just kind of keep your finger in the middle and pull down on either side, and that'll curve your word. And then you can look at the grid lines to make sure you're just about the same on both sides. That thanks is from Varied Vases. There are several sayings in here. And the way I'm doing this one, you're going to use the smaller sayings. If you didn't stamp 8 times, you can maybe try a longer one and curve that around and see how it works. But we're going to be stamping this one 8 times. This is a little Stampin' spot that I got in my paper pumpkin. They come in pretty handy when you're stamping on the Stamparatus. It keeps you from getting too much ink on your plates. So we're just going to move that around to the next mark. Ink that up. Move it around one more mark. So you kind of see how this works. You're just moving it around. It might take a little time, but you know exactly where your words are going to be. Now, if you ever stamp this and you're not happy with the ink coverage, you can always ink it up and stamp it again, as long as you haven't moved your paper, because it will stamp down in the exact same spot. That's another great thing about the Stamparatus. So I just have a few more. Remember to keep your hand behind the plate to provide some pressure. Some people lay it flat down on top of one of these inks, or even a stamp case with some stamps in it, and that will help provide some pressure too. Ooh, I forgot to move it. There we go. And that's the last one. So now we have our saying stamped all the way around, and you can see it's curved just a little bit. What did I do with that card? Here it is. So this one, you can tell they're very straight, and it looks almost like an octagon shape, and this one looks more like a circle. And that's the difference between stamping with one of our cling mount stamps versus one of our photopolymer stamps. These you can curve just a touch so that it gives it that whole different look. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and put my scrap paper in here to keep from messing up my template. If you have any questions about how to make a template, or you would like some assistance, just give me a call. You can contact me at cherylsmith.stampinup.net, and I'm also on Facebook at Cheryl Smith Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and thanks for stamping. Bye!